You can make yourself bigger though if you want.
Hey, what's up guys, Ruff here. So in this video I'm going to be talking about the Offkai Expo situation. For those who are not familiar, this is a VTuber centered convention. This is their 5th time doing it, but right now they are getting absolutely blasted on Twitter. They faced controversy before, as I will talk about shortly, but this time a lot of people are concerned due to the very least their vagueness about a recent sponsor and set of related events, or at the maximum, people are concerned that
Bro, honestly, people should be concerned with it. Conventions in general, like constantly, every time there's a convention, some heinous, disgusting shit happens there. You have conventions where people got roofied. You get conventions when people got stalked. It's just, people should be concerned about conventions in general.
Accompanied minors that are allowed at this event.
And the fact that people are just forgetting all the issues with conventions and trying to like defend this drama now is weird to me.
Will be exposed to adult content. So here's Offkai Expo and their main page. This is an event in California, which will make a lot of sense in just a second. That'll be underway in mid-July this year. Now recently, a lot of people discovered that one of the major sponsors of Offkai Expo Generation 5 is Fansly. Now let me describe this platform as it's described on their page. Fansly is the site for spicy VTubers and more. This 18+ site is full of the top VTubers in the space with the...
I also found like a really big correlation of not all of them, but a lot of top VTubers, like the top 5%, they have Fansly page.
A little odd.
Why? And it's like in the Western like indie scene, right?
Right.
Why is there such a big correlation of, oh, you made it as a VTuber, let me open a Fansly account? Why is it happening? Like, I'm genuinely curious.
The ability to sell paywalled content, stream, and connect with their fans. Find your next Oshi at this website with the /VTuber. Now, of course, this video is going to get absolutely fried in the algorithm because I'm saying all these no words and phrases. So help me out algorithmically by liking this video, commenting, or even subbing, because that will help counterbalance the bots who are going to be very angry at the words I'm saying. But we're talking about this sponsor, which, by the way, seems to be a very recently added one. And yeah, not only is this kind of the modern state of Western VTubing right now, where there's so much focus on adult content and platforms like this, it also raises questions as to whether or not this is a good idea for an event like this, because this convention is not 18+ by itself. There are plenty of 18+ VTuber-focused conventions out there, and if they want to have a sponsor like this, it would, I guess, make sense, and it would be more appropriate. But Offkai is not an 18+ event. In fact, as we'll see, minors can attend, including unaccompanied minors. So when Offkai made this announcement on Twitter today, there's been a lot of backlash. They say your next Oshi is waiting, and for those who are not too familiar with VTubers,
yeah, like I think this is the line that pissed off a lot of people. Your next Oshi is waiting. It's like they're trying to make like the whole Oshi synonymous with porn, basically, and it shouldn't be synonymous. Like, if you like Guna VTubers, more power to you. Enjoy your content, but like pushing it so hard with making like this so synonymous, it definitely pissed off people a lot.
Oshi means a deeper root than this, and they kind of just disrespected all over the word.
Yeah, so like it's like it basically added a lot of fuel into the fire. Whoever wrote up this post, for them is stupid.
Also, someone also made a good point over here. Charlie says, next, are they trying to make you replace your current Oshi? Exactly.
Yeah.
It definitely puts a sour taste in your mouth. Like, what the hell are you talking about?
Like, your next Oshi is waiting. That's really weird. There's a lot of things you could take from that one sentence on its own. But like, also going to these conventions, honestly, the conventions I'm looking forward to are not the US ones, are the European ones, for like conventions that Larian Games takes part in, then ExileCon in New Zealand. It's not in Europe, but there's like a lot of shit I'm looking forward to, but all of them are like just hardcore gaming conventions. Like I'd rather have like a meetup with people who watch us at a gaming convention. I feel like that way the people who watch us can get more worth out of it than just going and meeting us.
Yeah.
They'll get to like meet us and hang out with us and nerd over games. That would be so perfect.
That basically means your favorite VTuber, right? So they continue on saying, we're excited to announce that Fansly is joining Offkai Generation 5. Come find them at the exhibitor hall and meet some of their incredible talents. That's a debatable phrase, if we're being honest, for a platform that is exclusively for posting not safe for work content.
Yeah, I'm sorry, you don't really need incredible talent to spread your legs and, you know, pull your tits out. I'm sorry for being crude, but like, you really don't need a lot of talent for that.
But then again, let's keep moving here, right? You can see...
Yeah, Fancy is best 18 plus site to find your next Oshi. So much more. Like, it's, again, the same sentence again, then like underlining that's 18 plus. And Offkai has always been like, kids are allowed, like, it's family friendly, blah blah blah. So it's just really tone deaf.
Your entire caption is about finding the best 18 plus website where your next Oshi and so much more will be waiting for you. And as I pointed out earlier, of course, this is happening in California. Many such
VTubers who have fans, they say they want no parasocial fans, but then feed into that by making this type of content. People who do like content like that, they're not even the ones interacting with them. They outsource it.
Cases. Now, the replies are not just dunking on this announcement. It's pointing out some legitimate concerns that are not addressed at all by this post or anything on their website right now. I can see Madam Savvy saying kids walk around during the day. Surely this is not going to be done while kids are around, correct? Surely we're not going to put adult content in front of children, right? And here's a quote.
And by the way, Offkai or Fancy made no statement if it's gonna be like during daytimes or like the after hour booth, right? But I had so many people jump on my throat being like, well, obviously they'll do that after hours. What do you mean obviously? Where did they say that? People are so gun-ho, like jumping trying to defend this.
From someone who makes this sort of content, and even they have an issue.
Oh, is California? Kinda. Isn't like TwitchCon in California too?
I think so, yeah, mostly.
Wait, let me double check. I never had interest in going to US TwitchCon, so I don't know. TwitchCon US. California, San Diego. There you go.
Oh, San Diego. Ooh.
Was there ever any drama with TwitchCon in Europe?
Probably. Probably won't even be that big though. Probably be like, oh, someone stepped on someone's foot.
The TwitchCon Europe has been in several notable controversies, most prominently revolving around severe security breach and physical assault, as well as VIP party disasters and unauthorized streamer behavior. So the same thing as TwitchCon US.
Yeah, pretty much.
No, wait. That's the same claims as from TwitchCon US. Look, events outside the main convention have also sparked controversy. Attendees, including VTubers, raised alarms after multiple reports of drinking spiking at official and affiliate VIP parties in Rotterdam. Streamers heavily criticized event organizers for a lack of basic safety measures of gatherings, such as failing to provide drink covers. Wait, that happened in Europe too?
Really?
That's what I'm a little bit confused. Or is it just like, because I'm pretty sure that happened in US, not Europe.
I'm looking. I don't see anything about TwitchCon Europe.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. I'm trying to fact check right now. And hi, Voxley, how are you doing?
Yo.
It's almost like Twitch is trying to seems to gather the worst people. Yeah, that's why I already said this a long time ago. I wouldn't even feel comfortable promoting it for our community to go to an event like that.
Yeah, because like when I thought of TwitchCon back in the day, I thought it was like just mostly games, but it seems like they switched away from like games and fan meeting to like some weird abomination nowadays. Unless it always has been like that, and people just swept it under the rug until it wasn't able to be contained. I'm saying it for both US and EU.
No, I'm trying to find out because the person who wrote that is absolutely fucking wrong. Like, yes, these claims, yeah, people are trying to rewrite history. They're trying to claim, oh, this happened in Europe, not US.
So they're trying to just yeah, okay. That's kind of weird.
Yeah.
Because from what I can tell, at least how I've seen people act around, at least in Estonia, very stickler for rules. At least the most part. Been that way for years. Twitch and USA bad, yeah. It always happens. I think there's just less gaming in it now, which is kind of sucks. It feels like Twitch has moved away from gaming to like some weird reality TV abomination. All people do is just talk. I can't really complain because we do talk mostly as well.
Yeah, it's like the TwitchCon Europe is like other Twitch streamers going there and harassing women, and Twitch staff, venue staff, sexually harassing people.
Damn.
So that's what happened in TwitchCon Europe. And yes, people being fed up with IRL streamers. There you go. All the spiking and stuff, it's US. I don't know why people are trying to rewrite history now.
With this sort of concept and at least the details we have surrounding it right now. I don't mind Fansly, obviously. I do non-safe for work content there myself. However, I don't think this should be in the convention where there are children walking around. If it's in an adult-only section, that's one thing, but I don't think it is. And right now, just looking around at the available information, we don't know. And at the very least, this shows little regard for what's going on at this convention. If you're going to introduce something like this,
look, even besides like having kids there, right? Why are they kind of assuming that every single VTuber watcher wants porn-like content? Even if you're an adult, it doesn't mean there's like an automatic switch in your head and that's the only kind of VTubers you want to watch. I would say there's a lot of VTuber watchers who actually don't want to have adult content associated with the VTuber they want to watch. It's like a whole can of worms. It's just a lot of assumptions from both sides and just really poor wording and marketing and a lot of hypocrisy and stupidity. This is why I don't go to conventions anymore. Just the atmosphere at most of them feels sketchy. They do. It does feel sketchy. I love the US and everything, but Twitch in the US is a snake pit. No, just the conventions in general like are.
With all the money that they're pumping into all these sponsorship and stuff, I feel like upgrading your security to like an actual company that specializes in security will be much more beneficial for everyone all around. But that's just me.
You should make it very clear this is barred.
I'm sorry, this is so funny, like talking about this topic while Ozzy's like lying behind me snoring. He's like, I am so not entertained with this. I'm gonna go sleep.
18 plus only. But right now, we know this convention allows children, and they're having this as a prominent sponsor and part of their overall convention. That is something to look into, okay? This isn't just simply shaming VTubers for having these sorts of platforms. It's asking very legitimate questions and raising legitimate concerns about whether or not kids at the convention will be exposed to this stuff. And one of the people to raise these concerns and some very valid questions is Kirsche. Now, I'm sure most of you are familiar with this VTuber. She has not only some insight on the situation.
Bro, apparently just even saying Kirsche's name is gonna summon people being like, oh, you're a Kirsche ass licker. Just saying her name.
But also has a bit of a history with Offkai. In fact, back in 2023, 2020.
Like when I made my Offkai post, just pointing out all the instances Offkai treated their content creators poorly. And Kirsche was one of the people I mentioned. Like people got mad that I even brought up her name. Like she's like the VTuber Voldemort at this point. Who should never be named. Like, bro, what is going on? People are so ridiculous.
24, I believe. I made this video talking about a very complex situation involving Offkai, where Kirsche was supposed to have a panel there and she was shut down. Essentially for wrong thing. I'll put a link to this video in the description if you want to check it out. But long story short, she was blacklisted.
Wasn't there like also a lot of pictures of Kirsche viewers going there and like smuggling her in, like quote unquote smuggling her in on their tablets?
That's pretty based.
I remember seeing the picture, like, it was so funny.
As a featured guest, but still allowed to go to the convention and buy a ticket and spend money, which is just insulting. But a lot of it had to do with her edgy content, which is ironic given what they're allowing now. And this is just one of many screenshots from that video where some of the people involved with the convention explained why she was banned. And it says a lot of them come down to gender identity and DEI type issues she has talked about. And this is just a sample of what was sent to Kirsche, and it's absolutely ridiculous. You can pause and read for yourself. One of the examples provided always makes me laugh. They're showing this as a reason why she's not allowed to be a featured guest, where she made a joke.
And they're like also trying to rewrite history about it, why, what the reason is.
About pronouns on Discord, where she had to make a choice about pronouns after it was rolled out for the platform, and she labeled herself as burger/queen. And apparently that is too much wrong thing. That is far...
I'm sorry, but that is funny. I wish mine would be like burger and fries.
Can we even change ours?
Sonia doesn't use pronoun.
Discord.
Oh, that? I don't know.
This is for Discord.
Ah, okay. But yeah, since we're talking about it, Sonia doesn't use that. You have genders. That's about it.
Base.
Beyond what's allowed at Offkai. So obviously,
like in the language, yes, you have pronouns, right?
Right.
But like you don't have like pronouns in documents and things like that.
She has a bit of a history, and also me and my wife, Darling Straub, have a bit of a history because we saw what was happening with Kirsche, and we were supposed to be featured guests at this convention, and we basically said, if you don't reinstate Kirsche, we're not going to be guests anymore. And well, guess what? We weren't guests because they never corrected their mistakes involving that previous situation. But let's return to the current situation. So Kirsche points this out, saying, why is this marketed in the exhibitor hall instead of the after hours yabai market where the adult content is typically located, when this is also a con that allows unaccompanied minors? And she points out this section that says, I am between 13 to 17 years old. Do my parents have to accompany me at the convention or attend the convention? From 13 to 17, minors may attend the convention on their own, with or without their parents, with written permission from your parents or a legal guardian in order to attend. Permission is obtained by downloading and printing out this.
Yeah, you see, this is where you dig yourself a hole. You have written consent of minors being allowed to go there unaccompanied. First of all, no minor should go to a convention unaccompanied, unless your security is absolute top notch. But even then, I don't think that should even be a thing. But that's a whole different topic. But you have written that minors are allowed, and then you are like doing that whole presentation and how you're like shoving it down everyone's faces and throats.
Right.
Minor consent form. Your parent or legal guardian must fill out the form and then have it taken to a notary and signed in the notary's presence. The other way permission can be obtained is to have your parents come to the registration with you and fill out the parental consent form on site.
So like the parents can like just go there, like sign a form and leave. How would they even prove that that's the parent or legal guardian?
You really can't.
Only in California, ladies and gentlemen, would
Like,
something like
no,
this
is
exist.
bad.
We have these forms that would allow a 13.
When I went to Comic-Con in Southeast Asia, the only minors I saw them were actually with adult supervision. And you had like guards standing with guns at the doors. And if you wanted to walk out of the convention, you cannot walk out of the convention. There was a separate like quote unquote outside. It's part of the building, but it's like outside.
Dude, what the hell?
Yeah, they were not taking any risks there. It was a really good convention, actually.
Dude, that sounds like a step up. And that was back in Southeast Asia, right?
Yeah.
Yo, they don't play games.
It was a really good convention.
They definitely hired armed security forces. I respect that.
But they had a lot of volunteers as well there.
Of course.
They had like volunteers running all the grunt work, but they also had hired security.
To 17-year-old to pull up to a convention that has adult content at it. And based on what Kirsche is describing, it's in places that seem to be open to the general public who's attending this convention. It's not
in California, they've really been pushing for teenage minors to have autonomy. I saw like videos circulating of mom sending her daughter to like for a regular checkup, and the doctor was absolutely refusing to provide the mom like the checkup results. She was like, what, 13?
Right.
Like, what? That is highly weird. Stealing medical records from your mom when you're 13.
roped off or anything like that, as far as we know. And looking at the actual website itself, what she's pointing out is very real. Here is the related section we just read. And here's the actual form, by the way, which is just absolutely crazy. Here's an idea. If you want to go into this route of having adult platforms sponsor your convention and have specific events surrounding it, and you want to use it as a marketing tool and as a way to bring in...
Also, by the way, you can get a notary stamp in UPS in US. And I'm sorry not to throw like UPS under the bus with their notary, but like you don't have to sign it in front of them. They'll notary you as long as you pay.
Yep.
They don't give a fuck.
Not only feature guests, but also to promote them and your convention through these adult platforms. How about you just make the event 18 plus? There's an idea. Or will that be like a financial loss or something? Or will it upset the convention staff that we know is already pretty wackadoo over at Offkai? But yeah, this is pretty crazy. Just make it 18 plus and then, you know, have a ball with all this stuff. But, you know, going back to this is all a very, very legitimate concern that Kirsche is raising. Like, if you're going to make such a big deal out of bringing this platform as a sponsor and having related events, you should make...
I have several questions. Did the convention ask Fancy to be a sponsor, or did Fancy make them an offer? And two, why would Fancy agree to sponsor a convention that isn't adult only? Fancy has been sponsoring a lot of content creator events, like even like the streamer event, and Fancy is very known to work with content creators and specifically VTubers. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's becoming sort of synonymous. It's not really synonymous yet with VTubers in the West, but it's heading that way. So at this point, Fancy and VTubers is like, it's just the association at this point. Fancy and VTubers, Fancy and content creators.
Make these sorts of things very separate, far and away. This already sounds like a bad idea, letting these unaccompanied minors being at Offkai, but it's even worse when you have Fansly promoting all these events. Okay, that is not being closed-minded or anything, because I can already hear people screeching about this, saying how Kirsche is being some bigot or something for pointing this stuff out. But no, you should not want unaccompanied minors at a convention where one of the sponsors is Fansly, where they're also running a bunch of related events. And you can see people pointing out at Vexpo, any and all related not safe for work content happened in a corner of the hall. Everything was clearly labeled, hidden behind curtains, and had people on watch duty to avoid minors getting anywhere close. I seriously hope Offkai is wise enough to create a similar plan, because the con staff are all neo-Marxists who are also hypersexual deviants. Well, they don't have a very good reputation, that's for sure.
Okay, I wouldn't go that far. But also, who would actually want to go to a convention and go to like an 18 plus booth with curtains and stand there with other dudes while talking to a VTuber while she's like shaking her tits on a tablet?
That's so odd.
Yeah, right? That's kind of weird. Like, I've seen like conventions where there's like VTubers there on tablets, right? Like, and it's like out in the public, and like they're able to like goof around with their viewers and stuff like that, do like funny poses and whatnot. That seems way more enjoyable than like the just even like the thought of like big curtains behind the scenes, like just standing there with like other people. Well, your next she's like moaning in your ear.
That's so weird, dude.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. I honestly have never understood the appeal of gooning to animated characters. To each their own. And like I said, I'm not gonna judge gooning to animated characters. I will absolutely not judge that. Like, for example, I'm assuming you mean the whole like adult videos versus hentai, right? That is to each their own. Like, for example, I cannot understand tuning to like actual people when you could just get on a relationship and get laid, but to each their own. We need to bring back shame. We need to bring back shame about a lot of things, not just this.